Well, it's a beautiful Wednesday here on the September 18th, 2019 edition of the Justin Comer Show, also known as The Oversight. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook, also on the website as it's being built, which I will make an announcement on once I can, on when that will be finished. The news today has been pretty insane. I've been looking at it basically since I've woken up. There's so much to cover, but today I kind of want to keep it small on a localized stance just because of the issue we're facing now with the rise of millennials believing that communism and socialism is the answer to changing and revolutionizing America is exactly what they want. And it's completely false. I recently... Basically, I won't say names or anything, but I basically just got into, not an argument, but let's just say I firsthand witnessed one of those Antifa-style commies myself, and it is pretty dangerous. These people don't mess around, but they also have no clue what they're talking about. Today, the New York Post, what really sparked me to do this, because I originally wasn't going to make one, but today, the New York Post came out with a video of these communists. I'll try and remember to put a link in the YouTube video here of these communists basically chanting that America was never great and that humanity's first. And they kept saying that over and over again. And it was in L.A. Because I guess Trump was going to L.A. I can't keep up with the president's going all the time. So apparently he's going to go to Los Angeles and I guess hold a rally, something like that. But outside of the hotel there, I mean, these kids, and there were even older people there, even some woman looked like she's in 60s probably, just chanting, just straight these hipster kids that don't know what the hell they're talking about, just going off about stuff that has caused millions, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of deaths in the past century alone. And it's a shame to think that this is what they're being taught in schools, this is what they're being raised with their communist parents, more than likely out there, especially in California, and even in regions of the West Coast. I'll tell you what, particularly here in North Carolina, Asheville is a very left-wing city, okay? I know there are some red strongholds around the area, suburban areas and stuff like that, but from what I've seen comparably, Asheville is definitely a hipster left-wing city. And if you're a hipster, that's cool. I'm not trying to bash you. I'm just saying that most of those kids that believe in socialism or communism usually tend to lean towards the hipster side. That's just a fact. And and then most of them identify as as liberals, but that's not even true liberalism. That's not Thomas Jeffersonian liberalism. That's not what it is. Just like Ronald Reagan famously said, if liberalism ever came to the United States, if socialism and communism ever came to the United States, it would come in the name of liberalism. Boy, did he nail that right in the head. But the commies, he's fought the communists since he was basically in Hollywood. The commies have been trying to really stir things up for a very long time, and they got infiltrated big time, especially in the 50s, trying to get their message out here. And a lot of people fell for it, but it was a very, very small percentage, you know what I mean? Compared to now, I feel like even though it probably is still a small percentage, it definitely is rising in the public eye and the media, especially because the media keeps promoting it as a tool to get their agenda done. And they're using the useful idiots to ensure this happening. And thank God, since it's my generation, I didn't fall victim to that. I used to kind of be like that, maybe in high school. But I didn't know enough to really have a definitive argument about it. I really didn't at all. It really just took me waking up and understanding what's really going on. And these kids, if you think about it, never really grew up in an era where there was such good economic prosperity, good job growth, and good opportunity. That they are so spoiled to the point where, and even their baby boomer parents, if I can say that twice, right? Say that fast. Say that 3 times faster. But their parents, a lot of it I really do blame for them. And the school system itself, by far. The school system is a huge promulgator of this. They propel it, they promote it. They're doing whatever they can to push this agenda through to really hurt children as they grow up, especially with the transgender stuff. It's just all confusing. Very, very confusing stuff that's being done on purpose to destroy history and destroy who we are as a giant prosperity, liberty-loving community, and march us towards a socialistic dictatorship. And that's a damn fact. And they definitely wants to start with the healthcare industry, that's for sure. If you think about it, Obama, yes, in some elements was a socialist, but comparably to Bernie Sanders, to Beto O'Rourke, I mean, these people are very, very openly out there promoting grabbing your guns and promoting a Medicare for all system that would ultimately destroy the economy as we know it. Let alone it already is. If we just privatize Social Security and refunded Medicare, remanaged it in a certain way where Congress is actually responsible for it, it's such a big, complex issue in Medicaid that it's not something that can happen overnight. But something definitely can be done about it. And we can really stop the bull from, the snowball from gaining any traction. So that alone is a problem at all. I just feel so sorry. And people like that, like the one individual I was talking about the other day, I couldn't explain enough to him. I told him that I am a conservative libertarian. I'm definitely a conservative libertarian, and there was just no getting through to these people. They're very brainwashed and very, very into their ways, one-sided, lopsided. And what have you. And some are definitely a little more rational. Some can be changed. Some can be like, okay, hey, I'm willing to give that a shot. But there's a lot that can't. There's nothing you can do about it. But they're very sick in the head. Very sick. Very brainwashed, fluoride drinking, GMO eating individuals that have never been told otherwise. And they live in states like California that have been blue for a very long time. It's very sad. And hard blue too, not just moderately, somewhat purple. I'm talking hard blue. Okay, Los Angeles itself is the epitome, and San Francisco and San Diego are just pinnacles when it comes to this. They're just beacons of blue light that attract the worst kinds of people. Sometimes I personally, being born in LA, raised in the 90s, I couldn't imagine going back there now. I went back in 2013 just to visit, nothing crazy. And LA just is not what it used to be, people. Orange County, the one big conservative stronghold, the suburbs of Los Angeles and Anaheim and all that, and Yorba Linda, they were really good areas, conservative areas, until quite recently, to be honest with you. In the past 20 years, they've really shifted over to a purple towards, a more blue democratic area. And we really don't want to see that shift here coming to the States. Everyone has a right to what they want to say, but these people were burning the American flag, okay? These people in the video, as you show, I can't believe I just brought that left that out. They were burning the American flag, which is awful and disgusting. And, God, it's almost treason. You know what I mean? It's almost, why? How could you sit there living in LA, one of the biggest cities in the entire country, that used to be full of wonder, full of joy? Now it's just a shit, a crap hole, pardon my French, with homeless people and needles walking, everywhere. Just like San Francisco, it's experiencing the same problem. It's bedlam, it's hell. And I don't understand how these people. That's probably because why they hate us so much. They live in a socialist state already. California is a model state. It's the model state. That's what it is. And the good people that live there, I got family over there still. The good people that live there, I highly encourage them to get out as soon as they can, just so they can avoid whatever future laws that get passed there that just ultimately destroy their rights. It's already so hard to get a gun there. Anti-vaxxers are just shunned all over the place. I could go on. Their taxes are out the roof. And people are fleeing, going to Texas, making that blue. That's a fact. Texas is definitely becoming blue because of issues like that. They leave at California, bring the same policies, boom, turning blue. Same thing in North Carolina. People are getting sick of living in New York liberals, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, things like that. Jersey, coming down here, wanting to evade the policies that they completely hate, and they bring it down here and vote for Democratic city council members, congressmen, and governors and mayors. Pretty terrible stuff we're seeing, and it's not going to stop. Not going to stop at all. So this race for president for 2020 is definitely going to be one that we really need to look out for. It's honestly more critical than the 2016 race, to be honest with you, just because of the State of the Union where we are, Trump being the incumbent, and what this will ultimately do. Really, communism is just old Illuminism. It's Illuminism that's changed names throughout the years, the past couple centuries. And it's just morphed into a 21st century modern day style technocratic takeover with communist drives behind it. You see what I'm saying? They're using technology as a suppressor. And China's the forebearer of that. China's the one really trying to stretch it out across the world, just like they're trying to move it down to Africa, which is a huge deal. Their facial recognition, all that. And Huawei's a huge, massive player in this. Huawei is the player in this. They are the biggest 5G tech company out there, biggest surveillance company. I mean, they are huge, huge company. I've watched C-SPAN, congressional hearings on it, and it just blows my mind. Just blows my utter mind about the infrastructure and security, and let alone the health effects. And these people don't care. They really don't care. Communism would be the worst thing in America. It would be the biggest slap in the face to the founders we've ever. I mean, of course they're against monarchies, but also communism. I mean, and Illuminism. It's the biggest slap in the face. I can't tell you how. I mean, that would be the biggest rollover. Man, they roll over in their graves. Roll over in their graves. And it would be like, for what? I mean, it would be what did we do all this for? What did we really apply all the bloodshed for? That we fought in the Revolutionary War against the Redcoats when they tried to take the guns. What would we have been doing? And the Democrats, yes, Beto O'Rourke's out there. Hell yeah, we're going to take your AR-15, AK-47, your semi-autos. Like, hey, man, congratulations. I hope, you know what, you really try. I dare you. The American people dare you to try that. There are tens of, if not hundreds of millions of gun owners in this country. I think over half the country is on guns and ammo. So good luck with that. There's a civilized militia waiting for that to happen, son. So go ahead. You're the one starting this war. You're the communist that's trying to take our guns and destroy the economy. Medicare for all crap. I'll tell you what, Bernie's the biggest flaming. I mean, I think to me he's the most openly vocal one about it. And this is history with communism and what he's enjoyed with socialist countries and everything. And he won't even call Maduro a dictator. Thank God at least Julian Castro can call him that. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Anyone else can do that. But Bernie just has a nerve. I mean, no, he doesn't. He obviously supports it, and he loves the Soviet Union. I mean, he honeymooned there. It's just these people are flaming in your face. And Biden is the only one up there. I think the reason Biden's really winning the most is because he's a moderate. He's not a flaming commie. I mean, he's definitely an establishment, player, wanting to move the field this way. The socialists are there as a way to project this is where we're going to go. But maybe the elitists think that this is way too quick. People are going to accept it as well. It's way too flamboyant. But see, all the Democrats on stage are promoting it, so therefore it becomes a normalized situation. If it was just one person promoting it, it would be something very radical that would, a lot of people would turn that off. But Warren's ahead. She's a little more moderate, but still very hard left wing in the polls. And it's just really gradually boiling the frog in the pot of water, and to a point where the socialist communist idea, the Illuminist idea, is the way to go with the one world government. That is true, and America has to fall in order for that to happen. It would have failed if Hillary Clinton was in office. This would have been really the final turn. If Hillary Clinton was in office, we would have been definitely streaking towards that way. And we still are, even with Trump in office. He doesn't have... It's almost too late. I may sound cynical. I may sound really bad saying that, but it's almost too late. The people just aren't there with it completely anymore. thank God, at least in 2016, we had that final shot to be like, this is the last chance we really got. And we'll see what the 2020 election holds. I think Trump has a really good chance of winning again. I really hope he does. I don't see anyone else on the conservative side running that's really going to have a chance because, I mean, the other guy, the radio host, is a dingbat. Doesn't sound like a real conservative at all. What's he conserving? So when it comes down to actual campaigning and stuff, I think Trump's really going to make it. I think he's going to really make it. I think he's got a great chance. It just doesn't make sense how we've brainwashed so many. There's brainwashing of so many children now. I have a 12-year-old sister that goes to school, and I see her homework, a lot. I mean, some of it, yes, is America bashing with slavery and stuff like that. And I understand you need to teach kids about slavery and things that happen here in the States, but how we also overcame it, and overcome problems today, and look at history and be like, okay, this is the same situation in different clothing. How are we gonna fix this problem better than we did before and move forward? That's how you need to do it. I don't see why there's a problem with that. But then you're gonna get leftist parents to argue with it and say, no, you're just a racist and you're promoting sexism and you just hate women. And it's like, hey, well, I didn't even mention women. Like, where did that come? I didn't even mention anything about racism. That's the brainwashing we're seeing on a daily basis. It's blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. And Trump is right about one thing too. The Jews. The Jews that vote Democrat really are betraying their people. Okay, these Democrats traditionally hate Israel. The United Nations hates Israel. I mean, Israel's stuck in the middle of the Middle East, surrounded by all the countries that want to kill them, that want to wipe them off the map. And at least America has the balls to, the dignity to really defend Israel. Even though they're not perfect, they have their flaws, I get it. They're really not. Okay, they have issues. Go figure. But at the same time, at least they're a great ally in the Middle East to have, a great asset, but they get their own problems. Hey, that's on you. I don't think we should be intervening. Trump ran on a non-interventionist platform. I think he needs to stick to it. Disappointed in Rand Paul a little bit still. I know he's a liberty-loving, promoting person, but, he's not Ron Paul. He's not his father. He's not, what he stands for completely. It's a new wave of it. New wave of the Pauls. I don't know. Just speaking to you now, it just drives me crazy. You almost get a loss of words. Just because of how absolutely insane we've come. How far we've come with this. Bill Clinton was nothing. Chicken scraps. Al Gore was nothing. He's just an environmental wacko that tries to get carbon taxes implemented and monetarily enslave you. Obama was a terrible president, but he was almost nothing compared to what will become. He never took a guns, but I strongly believe that every single Democrat on that stage would more than likely, especially Beto, because he admitted it straight, point blank in range, that he would take the guns. These are admitted flaming communists, flaming socialists that want government in part of every matter of infrastructure, every matter of manufacturing, all aspects of business. The government needs to be there. It's going to be a model state like China. And it'll destroy the food resources here, farming, agriculture, it will level everything. And the economy. The dollar will just plummet in value. It will be so bad. And that's what's supposed to happen. To bring the real Illuminism, the real communism, global Illuminism and global communism to the world. Just as Adam Weishaupt wanted. And it's historical fact. People can debate, the Illuminati really doesn't exist. Maybe modern day Illuminati, what they say really isn't completely accurate. But Illuminism and the Illuminati really did exist in 1776 and lasted for 13, 14 years. For over a decade. And the ideas they promoted were so strong that they infiltrated the Freemasons and then made it a massive global movement. Now that the Freemasons are part of it, but not all of them are. Even the 33rd degree Freemasons don't really know what's really going on. Okay, you really got to be high up there, get the special access. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. Washington was a Freemason, but not that. But see, people equate that with evil. It's really not. The Illuminati, as it started originally in the very, very, very beginning, was based off some honestly pretty okay ideas, but then it became more communistic, more communal, more power hungry, more greedy, and ultimately turned into what is known today. And this is exactly what these people are promoting. That's what they're promoting. And that's a historical fact. I mean, anyone can look that up. That's very true. There's books written about it, plenty of books written about it, with very well documented sources. Just take a gander. Just go find some one day, and you let me know what you see. But all in all, what I really want to say in this podcast, and the show, and what I really hope to really wake up the rest of the people with is the communal difference between communism and capitalism. You can't put those two in the same realm, man. You really can't. Capitalism's uplifted people. Communism's killed people. Capitalism has brought in giving computers, phones, like technology, home ownership, property rights, freedom. Communism takes all that away and enslaves it, controls it. That's why all the people making their iPhones are jumping out of the buildings onto suicide nets on record. Okay, they're barely getting paid anything. They're working slave wage hours. Amazon's kind of doing the same thing. Google's doing the same thing, and they're all partnering up together to assist in this technocratic communistic takeover of the world, to be honest with you. It's everywhere. Where is the internet not? Especially, basically in Africa and very, very isolated countries. Besides that, it's coming. It's here. What am I talking about? It's here. Everyone knows it's here. And the only way to stop it is to be aware and focus and fight and really get informed and have great, strong people do what I'm doing. I'm not calling myself some kind of hero here. I'm not at all. I do not have that kind of ego. I just know what I'm talking about. I just want to promote it. I love America. And I just want to give as many great ideas as I can to everyone out there. That's all I want. So, I mean, it takes people having some kind of leadership quality. Run for office. Go in front of Congress and testify. Call your congressman. Do something. Have your own show. YouTube is very hard with podcasts and shows and political commentary in general, just because of the censorship. YouTube's a huge censorship platform. Why are they getting rid of people that promote liberty in America? Because that's what they do not want. They want the socialist model. That's a fact. They want it to happen. They want to destroy free enterprise and bring in government enterprise. It's not going to work, and it never has. History has always shown. The communism barely works. Honestly, it works a little bit in small, very, very small, tight-knit communities. Besides that, but eventually it even does get corrupt. Eventually, the drawback here is the opposition to it. And it's trying to slowly make the normalization. That's why they have to alter history in schools. It really starts with education. To ensure that we don't know who we are, so we can become something new, something even more dangerous, something very corrupt. I mean, America, when it started, was nowhere near what the level it is now with corruption. What, Alexander Hamilton want to have a central bank? Yeah, that's probably one of the worst things you probably heard of. Now the central bank is here. Now the military process begins. Now the enslavement, the modern day enslavement's here. People want to talk about Africans being enslaved. Hey, dude, the same person that's talking about it is being enslaved by the monetary policy we have here today, by the Federal Reserve Bank. It's everywhere, and you're constantly monitored. You want to talk about like really hardcore slavery? I mean that's crazy right there. That's crazy. People don't want corporate tax cuts. Why don't you want corporate tax cuts? That means more money in their pockets. They can probably give a raise to people. American Airlines was the best example I can think of. Right when Trump, a few months after Trump cut the corporate taxes, guess what? Very shortly after, people at American Airlines that work for the, on the ground under the wing of the company, service guys, rampagers, got paid pretty well. They got a raise. Everyone got a raise. Why did that happen? Oh, because of corporate tax rates. See, that's how you get the American people prospering and being independent. More money in your pocket also means independence. As bad as the monetary process is, it really does. It's one of the only things left of having real independence, and that we must hold strong to. We have to make. They make it hard for you to have your own business. They tax the royal bejesus out of you to have your own business. I mean, they want to make it hard for you. They want the government to do that. Obama said that himself. Yeah, you didn't make that business. You didn't make that. Hey, no, whoa. Who, I mean, there's video of that everywhere, man. He's clearly trying to show that government is the daddy. Government is the answer. That's what it's about. Folks, I'm going to stop right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put the link in the video on YouTube here of the New York Post video because I think you all need to watch that. I think it's very important. And I'm going to try to make another one soon here, record another one. And just see what else other news is coming out. I know there's a lot more I didn't get to. I'm really not trying it today. I want to focus it on one issue as of now, just as a talking point. And over the times, we can go into better things. But guys, you have a good rest of the week. If I don't do another podcast, I'll try and do it this weekend if I get some time. And as always, stay vigilant, stay watchful, help people, love people, understand what you're talking about, what you're reading into, filter the news, understand fake news, understand what real communism is, and really just teach the way, show the way to people, the way out of this dark hole that we're walking into very quickly, very quickly. We have to stop this now before anything else gets any worse, because it will. And I mean, it's almost inevitable, but we have to suppress it as much as possible. We have to, shoot water on the fire here to at least keep the fire tame. Instead of going out of control and wild and then burning everything we love and know. So guys, I'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you so much. This is Justin Comer Show on YouTube. The Oversight on Facebook is the umbrella page. Find me there. Look at all the articles. Read the news. Show it to people. Get informed. And have a great rest of the day.